I'm off of Quay and make my body tingle. I'm rocking off that new Drake. I don't really listen to a lot of rap, but I'm rocking off that new Drake. Hey, he ain't letting off. He ain't let off the gas. He took some vacations, traveled the world, came back and dropped three. Y'all got to come back and drop four, five now. You dropped three. Setting records day one. Setting records day one. Setting records day one. Drake Drizzy, OVO, October's very own, is back. But this ain't about Drake. This is about what I'm talking about. I'm talking what I've been talking about the last week that I set up. That I set up. But for some reason, people completely kept me out of the conversations, which is cool because you see the name. You see the name. I am the Shadow King. Welcome to the Diary of Black Moses. I am Black Moses, the Shadow King. I dropped the heat last week. Been a little under the weather. I was under the weather, man. Had that flu. Had that bird flu. Yeah. Had to get some antibiotics. All of that. Let me put these. I'm gonna put these on the screen. I want to see. But I dropped the classic mixtape on CT's channel last week. CT just stood back, and that's my guy. That's my friend. CT just sat back and gave me about an hour to just let off rounds. Because this is war talk. This is war talk. And I am the Shadow King, and I was lurking around in the shadows, doing what I was doing, observing, taking surveys. And man, it appears that a lot of y'all don't know the art of war. And I'm going to talk about that. I was highly disappointed. Some people need to be fired off of some of these channel teams. Some of y'all got channels with teams of people that talk. And some of those people you keep as a part of your group, I don't know if you pay them or not, but some of them need to be fired. They really do. Some of them showed their weakness before the war even started. And you allowed a person, pretty much I'm not going to say that yet. I'm not going to say that yet. You allowed a person to shut you down. No, but I'm here for war. Your commander in chief has been setting off war. So how could I be wrong? How could you look at me in the negative for saying I want war? You guys go on these little 1-900 chat talks on StreamYard, and you talk about all this goofballism and lameism and stuff that really doesn't apply to you. It doesn't apply to you. High-end politics, things that are happening in the world that people that are really living life and get themselves into, it doesn't apply to you. You're on YouTube all day. You're on StreamYard panels all day. That Drake and that 21 Savage table, bees on the table, bees on the table. I like it. And I don't really listen to a lot of rap. But when Drake drops some heat, I'm there for it because of the melodies and how he always refer back to his Memphis sound, that 3-6 sound, that DJ Paul and Juicy sound. I'm here for that. But let's get back to this conversation so I can stay on topic. I on CT's channel. If you don't know who CT is, I'm going to plug people. This is the Diary of Black Moses. This is kind of like my beef channel, my side channel that I use specifically for things I do when I go on panels. And the only panel I really go on is Chaotic Truth Live. I'm really not interested in it like that. So I go on Chaotic Truth Live. And I planted seeds. Excuse me. I'm still getting over this crud. And I planted seeds. Seeds of destruction. I will admit, seeds of destruction. And for some reason, the seeds were allowed to germinate, but they weren't allowed to grow. In what appeared to be a blossoming, beautiful war, fizzled out. Fizzled out. Not due to the adversaries at hand, just due to individuals within their camps that showed weakness. Now, in the art of war, especially these digital wars, these sector beefs, the first thing you want to do when assessing your foe or your ops, like y'all say, my ops. The first thing you want to do is recon. You want to do recon. Now, recon on here means listening. It doesn't mean jumping on a panel and just start bombarding and talking loud. The first thing you want to do is recon. You want to listen. I'm giving you the art. You want to listen. And when you're over talking each other, you don't get the meat. You don't get the parts that are vital to bring to that war. All you do is base things off of face value. You idiots. You losers. It's not the surface. It's what's underneath. It's the little conversations within the conversations that are just kind of glanced over. The things that are said under the breath while they're telling the truths about themselves. Y'all are so like just, and y'all don't just ready to say something. Okay, all right, I'm gonna let you go and talk. Who let a fly in my damn house? Is that when all you have to sit back is listen, sit back, listen, and calculate. You at the adversaries, they're on YouTube StreamYards all day long. Some of them are going from panel to panel. There's only 24 hours in a day. I watch, I look, I listen, I learn. And when the time is appropriate, I attack. Because that's the art. For some reason, you all have a problem. I don't know if it's your high emotionalism, your past traumas, your broken relationships, your stress. I don't know what it is. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what it is, but I do want you to just spill it all out. Because when y'all are on these 1-900 chat line StreamYard panels, y'all just love just putting yourselves out there. You're trying to find friends somewhere. Evidently, you can't find them within close proximity. So you have to find friends out there in the digital landscape. Well, that's loser behavior. Because the first thing you want to do, and I've seen a lot of people fail at this. I don't have I wish I had the time for it. The first thing you want to do is you want to build influence. Now, a lot of you people are starting these channels just straight out the gate as a response to somebody else. And you're not taking the time to build the influence, to build yourself up to where you can benefit. As I heard a streamer say a few days back, everybody's on here for money. And ain't nothing wrong for that. And you know what? I don't come on here enough. But what I do say does carry value. And that value is not being acknowledged. So when I come on here, I think I've built enough influence. Enough people know me. I'm going to start getting at the money too. I'm going to start getting at the money too. It doesn't mean I'm going to be on here all day and all night. I don't have to do that. I have a life. A lot of these people don't have lives. Most of them don't have lives. They'll have you believing that there's some kind of ultra rich person that don't need to have a life. How does that sound? Don't need to have a life. Goddamn, if I can hit this goddamn fly, I don't know who let this fly in here. Shit, he ain't gonna be around here all day. Now, right now I'm being cool, calm, and collective, and I'm finna run some people down. I'm about to run some people down. And I'm finna start naming names. But this is just a little introduction, a little monologue. And I'm gonna run it back. I'm gonna run it back to where it all began. Now, you have a channel. There's a main channel, then there's little splinter channel. The main channel is Chaotic Truth Live. That's my guy. And from Chaotic Truth Live, there's sprung up splinter channels. One of them is Gospel of Bob. They're cool. And the showrunner, Bobby, I like to call him Bobby. He likes to run a nice, peaceful, I guess a little fun, like a 1-900 chat line where people come on there and they talk, they giggle, they laugh. But there's an ingredient that's kind of always missing. Not always, sometimes it springs up, but then for some reason, it's quelled in the name of peace. But in order to build, you have to have the yin and the yang. You have to have the war and the peace. And I see you're getting better at war, but you're infighting. You're infighting. You're not taking your battles out. Now, there was an event, a huge event that happened last week on Chaotic Truth. A very antagonistic but passive aggressive. Oh man, a very antagonistic but passive aggressive person, which doesn't mix. You can't be antagonistic and passive aggressive. It's always you're always going to expose yourself. You're always going to expose yourself. But this person goes by the name of John Galt, but his channel is called, it's at the Urban Landlord. And one of the main themes of his channel is demeaning black people. Demeaning black people. That's the main theme of his channel. It's to show the fallacies, the fails, and the consistent problems in black communities. I have no issue with that. That's his channel. Those are his opinions, his thoughts. But at the same time, he only, and he has the right to do so, he only addresses the lower ends, the misfortunates, the ones who have not been able to take advantage of their lives, or they may have traumas, they may be coming off of substance abuse issues, this, that, and the other. For whatever reason, they're not doing well. And you have issues. You usually have issues in these poor, I'm not going to say low income, I'm going to say poor inner city communities. And those are the communities, or that's the community that he attacks. He attacks the people that are really having issues in life or have had issues. And those issues are showing. Those are the people that he exposes when there's not much exposing to do with people like that. And he expresses the mirror effect it has in which how white America reacts to it. The main thing, though, is his passive aggressive approach to it. He hurls these insults, but then is quickly apologetic or escape it. He's good at escaping the confrontation when confronted. He's good at escape. He'll just use a few words, a few phrases. And people that don't know better, and people that don't know how to listen, they don't know how to attack that. And that's the issue. Well, somebody attacked the issue on CT's channel. That person was the Gospel of Bob or Bobby. Bobby attacked it head on. Oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. He attacked him, called him boy, made him had to really show and prove. Oh, that boy hit him hard. When that boy hit him, he's like, like I said, this guy's a slow talker. He has to stay at this monotone way because of his issues. He has his own disabilities or whatnot, which requires substances to come out of. You know, where I'm coming up, we called it liquid courage. And Bob really brought him out of it. He really, who you calling boy? And what really took him out of it, really took him out of his character. I addressed it last week. And not only did Bob hit him once and brought him out of character, Bob dropped off the screen, let him talk, let him say he won't come back, and shortly after came back and hit him even harder. And hit him with a blow that he wasn't expecting. Bob made the showrunner, CT, kick the John Galt character. And I'm going to say the John Galt character because that's not his real name. And here's the contradiction in that. He won't even display his real name, but he wants everybody else to tell who they are. And that's nothing. You won't even give us your real. John Galt is a fictional character from a book written by Ayn Rand. I think it's called the Atlas Shrugged or something like that. That's the name of the book, Atlas Shrugged, and the main character is John Galt, and he named himself after that. I guess he's trying to parallel himself with intelligence based off of the Ayn Rand theories. That's cool. But I'm not going to get real just, deep like that with it. But if you want people to tell you who they are, like tell us about, he told me when I came in, oh, tell us about yourself. I'm not going to tell you nothing about me, not my personal life. You don't need to know that. But if you can't even give your first name, then you can ask people to tell you about themselves. You're hiding behind that. John Galt is a fictional character. So now Bob hit him so hard that he's kind of been on this passive aggressive tear, calling Bob a DEI pilot and talking about how his channel is doing bad. But none of these channels are really succeeding because these lowbrow channels aren't meant to succeed. They don't start out succeeding. Let me tell you something. On YouTube is still a video-based platform. So if you don't come out with some influence building videos, if you just hit the channel live streaming, you're not going to have much success. But some of these channels aren't built for the success of virality like other people. This is low-brow entertainment for low-brow people, low level. Keep it there. Don't try to be nothing else other than that. Don't try to claim nothing else other than that. Don't try. If you started out this way, don't try to build influence that doesn't parallel with that. Yeah, you got dope for the few people that run around these sectors, but it's all low brow. Now, some of the people that started this way back 5-6 years ago, they may have had some kind of success. I only see one person, and I don't think he came from that. I think he built influence with videos first that has 1 million subscribers. And I don't even call him a sector guy. He just happens to dibble and dabble in these sectors. The rest of y'all are under 20,000. Under 20,000, and subscribers don't even matter anymore. Subscribers don't even matter anymore. So it's really about your views in chat and engagement. That's what it's really about with these channels. And that's cool. That's cool. As you can see, I don't have a high engagement because I'm just not in it like that. But I do like to come in and stir the pot. So Bob hit this guy, John Galt, the urban landlord, so hard, got him out of character, got him kicked off the show. And I'm not going to even talk about the lady that was on there. Now, a lot of you people, you come on here, you're braggadocious, you're talking about your lies and all this other stuff. A lot of you are lying, and you won't show yourselves. As you can see, I'm cammed up. I have nothing to hide. I'm not ashamed of my looks. I think I'm a rather handsome guy. Now, let's get to the meat of this because, like I said, I want war. So I came on for about, somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour and just gave my whole spiel on everything that happened. And then we went in on some past people that have come on these channels and they're no longer here due to them putting themselves out there and they suffered some kind of what I like to call emotional damage or just self-imploding or destruction. You don't know the mental and emotional damage these little channels have done to people. You don't know. You need to be a whole person. You may want to have some experiences that you've overcome and you've built some strength to where this doesn't get to you, because if you're still going through it, you might not want to take part in some of these channels, some of these discussions when they get Ha! Because like I said, it's war in the Shadow King, the Shadow King. He loves the heat, the confrontation of battle. So after my war talk, the war talk that I initiated, I planted this seed. But like the Shadow King, I don't get the direct blame for it. I don't get the credit that I deserve for it. That's how I'm going to look at it. I don't get the credit that I deserve for it. I don't, because I came on, I talked war, and I named names. And if you want to confront me about that, you're always welcome to. I will gladly oblige you. I will gladly oblige you. I have enough information, and I've listened to enough of you that I have a lockbox right here where I can just open it up and just go. Some of you know that your relationships and your marriages are not perfect. Some of you know growing up, you weren't that person. And that's okay. But only if you're truthful about it. And most of y'all aren't. It's not okay. Like I said, I've had my successes and my losses, my ups and downs. That's life. You win some, you lose some. But most of you people on here, you make it look like you win all the time and you've won all throughout life. Come on. Come on. You're the ones that lose in these battles. You're the ones that suffer the most damage. And it's a beautiful thing. So, Gospel of Bob. Oh, hold on. Who we got here? Badass Stain Gang. What's up? Badass Stain Gang? I'm finna start doing like the rest of these YouTubers, Stain Gang. Why y'all? Since I got somebody in here, there you go. Hit the cash app, man. Even though I'm not saying it directly, hit the cash app. I want some of that cash app money. I'm that dude. I am that dude. I've been that dude. I'm finna start tooting my own horn. Oh, you in Daytona, Florida? Is that Florida? You vacationing? Cool. Enjoy your vacation, man. And if you can, hit that cash app. Send a brother 5, 10. Brother, buy a brother a sandwich from Jersey Mike's or a Subway sandwich. I like me a good turkey club. I'm just getting started, Stain Gang. But this is war talk. You're tuned into Black Moses, the Shadow King. You on the oceanfront condo here? All right, Stain, don't be getting on here lying and getting put on Front Street. But I'm going to take it at face value. I'm going to take you for your word. I'm cool with it, man. Live life. That's what I'm about. Live life, man. If you got it, man, enjoy it. Drop the link. All right, let me drop the link. Because, yeah, we can have a conversation, man. We can have a conversation about these people who failed this week. And they didn't give me my propers. They didn't give me my credit for kicking off the war. And they disappointed me, man. They disappointed the Shadow King. I came out of my dark realm to stir things up and create some excitement amongst these sectors. And it looks like they fizzled out, or they're fizzling out, or they're failing. They're not succeeding. I'm trying to help. When I was on CT giving that spiel where okay, so let me just go ahead and get into it. I'm going to give John Galt credit for taking the baton that I gave him on there. I told John, I said, John Galt, you need to go live. And you need to go at CT, JP, and Bob. I said, I know you're going to go at Bob because Bob is the easy target. And he did exactly what I said. He just went at Bob, DEI pilot, DEI pilot. He said the same things over and over. But when I was in CT's show, reiterating, people that are John Galt nut huggers, for some reason, they were telling me, "Oh, you're saying the same thing. You're babbling." But John Galt babbled for 6 hours. When I look back at that show, it was 6 hours. I only watched about maybe off and on 2 or 3 hours of it. And whenever I would leave and come back, he would be saying the same thing. Bob's not mad at me. He's mad at Be Brave. He kept throwing Be Brave's name in there. And if Be Brave gets a hold of this, Be Brave. I want you to know, even though me and you have our differences, I don't like you. I'll just say it. You don't like me, I don't like you. And it's cool like that. But do you know that John Galt is putting your name in conversations that it don't belong in? Do you know that? Be Brave? Be Brave. I know that when John Galt calls you, because John Galt says he talks to you almost every morning. I know sometimes when he calls you, or a lot of times when he calls you, you're like, God damn, John, what do you want? I know he gets on your nerves because I know you're not calling him, he's calling you. And every other word that comes out of his mouth, when it comes to issues and beefs and dramas within these sectors, he throws your name in there. Be Brave is my nook. And I know you gets on his show and he lets you talk down on black people, but a lot of black people are doing bad. It is what it is. But Be Brave. Uh, you're not doing too much better. And you shouldn't be trying to hold on to the successful whites as a badge of superiority. No, not you. Not you. Only those that are at that level can do that. And they don't have to do it. It shows. It shows. Those people aren't on small YouTube channels just being a bum. But just to say, do you know that John Galt, the urban landlord, at the urban landlord, is putting your name in conversations that it don't belong in? Every time he says something, every time he reiterates something bad about blacks, he'll say, yeah, that's what Be Brave said. Be Brave said that. Be Brave said it. He's taking what you say, Be Brave, and he's putting your name. In other words, he's throwing you under the bus. So when people confront him, he can say, I ain't say that. That's what Be Brave said. That's his passive aggressive cowardice. He does have a cowardice. You're talking about a guy that's pretty much disabled, you know. And John Galt, you called Bob a DEI pilot. Weren't you or aren't you a DEI software designer? Who would actually want to follow schematics of software that you've designed? Who would actually want to? You're a DEI software designer. John Galt, you're from the capital of DEI and affirmative action. You're from DC, which is what, 85% black? If anybody benefited from DEI and affirmative action, it's you. Things that you talk about, those were local property grants and property programs in place in DC for people like you. Black, disabled, from a single mom, because you never talk about your father. What about your dad, John Galt? Where was he at in the making of the great John Galt? Palomino Ricky, hey, slow people are always invited. Nah, just messing with you. But you do really need to quit hugging him like that. Palomino Ricky, it really makes you look slow, dude. I'm just being honest. As only Black Moses, the Shadow King, can do. It's making you look slow, dude. Because if he's over there and he has to ingest substances just to build up some courage, just to build up courage to talk about people. And I haven't seen him Palomino Ricky. Palomino Ricky. You have to admit the fact that he went in on Bob, like I said, because you were there, you kept telling me, oh, Black Moses, you're repeating yourself. John Galt repeated himself that whole night, and you know it. He repeated himself. What did he keep saying? He ain't mad at me. He's mad at Be Brave. He ain't mad at me. He's mad at Be Brave. He said that for at least 2 or 3 hours. I was lurking and looking because he didn't want me on the show. He said it. If you see me, kick him out. That's what he said. He didn't want to deal with me. They don't want to deal with me. Be Brave has already given him instructions to not deal with me because Be Brave don't want it with me. Never, never. See, I'm just not going to hurl insults. My insults come with facts. My insults come with facts. Why? Because I've listened and I've calculated and I've measured. Just like the 4th horseman of the apocalypse. A penny for a shekel of wheat? Yeah, I measure, I calculate, and I balance the scales. Yeah, Be Brave. Be Brave don't want to deal with Bob, as Be Brave said. Remember, I'm the reason why Be Brave said he was leaving CT's channel. I'm the reason Be Brave said he was leaving CT's channel for 2 months. Only because what I said when I came on CT channel when he was on there. I don't have no reason to back. What are disingenuous people? You don't even know what disingenuous means. They don't want to deal with it. You don't even know the definition. You don't even know what disingenuous means. You just hear everybody else say it on these shows, or these live streams. I'm not going to say shows. These are just live streams. StreamYards. Loser tubes. You don't even know what disingenuous means. When I come on here, I'm fully genuine. I'm right here. I'm on camera. This is genuine. This is genuine right here. I'm genuinely on camera. I don't have a green screen background. I'm sitting in the house right now, quite comfortable. Palomino Ricky. I'm gonna change your name though soon, but I'm gonna wait. This is a small channel. I'm not doing much here. I just come here to fuel the flames for my guy CT. Now, let's talk about disingenuous. Because like I said on CT's channel, during my repeatable babbling spiel, during that, I told John Galt, I said, John Galt, you have to, on CT's channel, I told John Galt he has to go at CT and he has to go at JP. Now he's done it quietly, passive aggressively. I just recently heard him say CT's not a real conservative. Real slick, real passive aggressively. But he ain't going hard like he's going hard on Bob. How contradictory is that? A DEI software designer is calling another person a DEI pilot. All you people are DEI. We're all DEI. John Galt, you're from Generation X. That was the rollout of DEI. That was the rollout of affirmative action. That was the rollout. You were able to be a software designer simply because of affirmative action programs that were rolled out right in your hometown of DC. If the blacks in DC didn't benefit from affirmative action, I don't know who did. Who fills up those government offices? Who got all those education programs? All those when jobs started having job fairs. Who were they having job fairs for? That all happened after those affirmative action programs were rolled out. Those initial what you call DEI. You got to be a software designer because of DEI. Because if I'm looking at schematics for software or I'm going to ask, hey, can I meet the design team? Can I meet the design team? And if your black ass shows up, I'm going to say, whoa. How did why How did he get to be a part of this? You know, what is his background? Let's look at these schematics again. You know, people gonna look at you and say, "Oh, okay, that's an affirmative action guy." Yes, you're DEI too. You benefited from affirmative action program too. Now, one thing I like about Bob is Bob talks about his dad in reverence. He talks about his dad in reverence. And I know that feeling because I had my dad, very impactful in my life. John Galt, I never hear you talk about your dad. I never hear you talk about your father. Did he just skeet and skedaddle? Is that part of the slogans that you came up with? I'd rather use John's software than ride in Bob's planes, though. You don't even use software. Unless it's StreamYard. Did John Galt help write the software design for StreamYard? Possibly? Huh? Yeah. Palomino Ricky, I'm sure you took advantage of the Spirit Airline discount plans. Those were DEI pilots. Yeah, use some of John. Hey, you lucky I've been under the weather this past week. Hey, show us, if you can, if you don't mind, show us some of John's software that you've put into use. Can you show us Palomino Ricky? Can you show us Ricky? Hold on, let me, I'm finna really get this. I'm really finna get in my bag right now. I'm really talking that talk. Hit that cash out. I'm finna start getting into my bag. If all these rich people, these so-called rich people, can come on StreamYard and ask for cash apps, cats like me can do it. John had mom and dad. His dad's still around. Yeah. Is he off of child support yet? You sure are telling his story there, Palomino Ricky. Were you that guy now? Were you that guy that was sitting on his couch? Were you the guy that he told to get him a beer? Is that you, Palomino Ricky? Is that you? And stop lying. See, you're being disingenuous. He didn't have his mom and dad. You said his dad's still around. Honestly, I don't think his dad's still around. I don't think his dad is around because his mom was a bull mammy. Bull mammy. No man wants to be around a bull mammy. No, I don't hear John talk about his dad. And I watched a few of John Galt streams. Most of them put me to sleep. Like when I want to go to sleep at night, I might turn on a John Galt stream because he talks so subdued and passive aggressive, and he's so scatterbrained. And especially when he gets on his substances, you're really praising and upholding a man that has to actually be on dope, that actually has to be on dope to give you dope. Let's see here. I don't use John's software, but I would use John's dope every day. And it's primo. Yeah, you sound like a real dope fiend. Guy getting beer and is named Happy. Haha, no, that guy getting beer is named Happy. Well, hi there, Happy. How you doing, Happy? Good talking to you, Happy, aka Palomino Ricky Z. Let's go. John has ninja-like focus. No, he doesn't. He's scatterbrained. He goes from one thing to the next in a matter of a few seconds. No, and he has a nervous system or brain dysfunction. Right? Right? No, he can't stay on topic. He doesn't have ninja focus. A DEI software designer has no focus. Knock it off, Palomino Ricky. But it's good that you're in here trying to hold him down. It's not going to help. It's not going to help because I'm just scratching the surface here. I'm just scratching the surface. So since you're in here, and let's see, we're at 45 minutes. I don't do these long. This is what I want to say, and I'm glad you're in here, Palomino Ricky, because I want you to tell me if I'm facts or not. So I know you watched Gospel of Bob too. He has seizures occasionally. See, I didn't say nothing. See, I didn't say. Thank you, Palomino Ricky Z. I told you, if you sit here, you plant seeds, you listen, you learn, you guys will give the Shadow King, not the Shadow King, the Shadow King. You give the Shadow King what he wants. Thank you, Palomino Ricky Z. He has seizures occasionally, NBD. That is the indication. See, I always thought that he had a slowness or something that made him always do his head like this and talk in the patterns in which he talks. I always thought something was there. I always thought that's a nervous system, that's a brain function issue. I always thought something was there, but you just gave me that. Thank you, Palomino Ricky, the Shadow King. He likes to get off into people's heads and see what's going on here. Okay, I'll save this for later. I'll save that for later. Yeah, Palomino Ricky, you're wonderful. You're great, man. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Palomino Ricky Z. Hey, let's get to it now. Palomino Ricky, we're gonna get off. We're gonna let John stay over there. We're gonna lock him in a room right here. We'll open that door later. We'll open that door later. He's already, at a disadvantage with the Shadow King. Now, Be Brave told John Galt not to mess with me. He said, no, that guy, no. You leave that guy alone. I don't mess with Black Moses. As much as I hate Bob, I hate Black Moses even more. I'm the 10X. As you can see, nobody mentioned me, the person that actually started the war talk. That was me. I said, I want war. I've said it before on CT's channel. I want war. Palomino Ricky, you were a raging alcoholic, right? Right? We don't want to know about your sobriety. We want to know how it was when you was drunk in a gutter, when you were in a holding tank, the detox tank. We want to know about that. We want to know about the fights you had in the detox tank. That's what we want to know about. We don't care how sober you are. You have to be sober because you once were a drunk bomb. We want to know that part. We want to hear about you throwing up on your wife and kids, coming to the house drunk and just throwing up all over the place, throwing up on your wife and kids saying, "Oh, Dad." We want to know about that part. But that's for later. Save that for later. Save your failures for later. We'll just lock them in a box. We'll just lock them in a box. Now, after I went on my spiel on CT's channel, remember, I did about maybe 40, 45 minutes. Me and Hafez did about 45 minutes to an hour. Maybe it was an hour. And even though you said I was repeating myself, John Galt repeated himself for up to 6 hours, and you didn't bring it to his attention. You didn't tell your master, hey, master, you're repeating yourself. You're saying the same thing. Could not stop saying, Bob's not mad at me. He's mad at Be Brave. Why does he keep throwing Be Brave under the bus, Palomino Ricky Z? Why does he keep throwing Be Brave? You have to look at these things, Palomino Ricky Z. You have to look at these things and say, why does he keep throwing Be Brave under the bus? That's what he's doing. He's putting his master, because Be Brave is his Lord and Master. He keeps evoking the name of his Lord and Master. Be Brave told me to say this. Be Brave said this. I'm just going by my knuckle, Be Brave, with my knuckle, Be Brave. And he says he talks to Be Brave. Be Brave don't want to talk to John, have personal conversations on the phone with John Galt's black ass every day. John Galt says he talks to B Brave every morning. I was watching his show one time when he actually called B Brave, and B Brave didn't answer the phone. Why? Because B Brave did not want to be bothered with John's black ass. John's black, stammering, stuttering ass. B Brave was like, nah. Because even though B Brave is a broke down, as John Galt say, poor white trash person, B Brave probably still has his own shit to do. And he don't want to be on the phone with John Galt, who's already on live streams all day. So why is he throwing John Galt? Why is John Galt throwing B Brave under the bus? Thank you for subbing, Moxie. Thank you for subbing. I appreciate that. And as you can see, I'm asking for cash apps now too. I'm talking that talk. I really talk that talk. Hit the cash app. $. It's scrolling across the bottom. $, Ivan GTV. I'm finna start. If all these rich people that have these fantastic jobs and own these properties and have these companies can come on StreamYard and YouTube and ask for donations, I can too. I will too. I'm in it for the money too. Hit that cash app. Ivan G, $ Ivan GTV 100. Or you can hit Creator Bucks. I have $ Creator Bucks, but I don't have it on here. Yeah, all these people come on here. You got people sitting in rooms with trash all around it. Standing fans, stuff falling, walls peeling, but they can come on here and claim that they're rich and got all this money, but yet in all that debris, all that trash, they can come on here, claim they're rich, or they got it like that, but still ask for donations and cash apps. Hit the cash app. What's the fat guy that always got on the hat? Hit the cash app. Every time he talk, he got to do like that. Hit the cash app. Then he have to breathe real hard. Excuse me. I was under the weather this past week. And I'm just, the medicine is just not working. Went to my doctor, had to get a shot. I'm glad it wasn't the Ovid K. I'm glad it wasn't the Ovid K. I'm glad it wasn't that. It was just flu. Just flu. They call it flu A, flu B. They're calling it that now. Yeah. Yeah. People do have a lot of details in their rooms. In details, you're saying stuff falling, nasty brown walls, trash everywhere, old fans, pictures and stuff. It's dark. No, I'm a minimalist. I like the least possible. I'm a minimalist type of guy. I love having my room to walk around. I don't even like a bunch of pictures on my wall because I don't like putting holes in my walls. I'll put a picture up on a stool or something just for ambiance, or put up a light that I can stick to the wall and just take it off. No, I'm not gonna have a bunch of junk and trash just for a StreamYard background. Knock it off. Yeah, debris. Exactly, Palomino Ricky. That is the correct word. Debris, aka trash. Shit strode everywhere. Now, the meat, even though I've been carrying on, the meat of this conversation is not John Galt, even though I could just go on about him, and I promoted John Galt's channel on CT. I gave John Galt the alley-oop. I gave him the alley-oop. I said, John Galt, you need to go in on CT on your channel. And what happened? You better thank me for that, John Galt. I'm the marketing and promotions guy. I gave you the instructions that everybody was like raring to hear. They were geeked up to hear it, man. I think you got up to 80-something people in your room. You've never done that from the ones I've seen. You've never gotten up to 80, almost 100 people in your room. I marketed that for you. I promoted that for you. I told you how to go about it to put your channel on a whole different trajectory. And you failed. And you failed. You kept repeating yourself, oh, he a DEI pilot and he's mad at me. You failed. And when you had nothing else to say, you went to your tried and true. Y'all, let's check out some bull mammies. Let's check out some bull mammies. That's all you did. I gave you the ingredients to put you into the stratosphere of beef sector success. Nobody wants to hear that educational stuff you be talking about because it's half cop. You don't even know what you're talking about. You really don't. It sounds like the babble of a wino. It puts me to sleep. But when you're drunk and you're high and you're like the other day, you was talking to the 2 substance abusers that was in your house and you told them to get out your house because they had spilled some water. Oh, you named that show was called You're Back with the Crackhead Again. You called him a crackhead. You said John Galt is back with this. What was that? Palomino Ricky. What was that show called? I'm back with the crackhead. I'm back with the crackhead. That's what you call this. I'm back with the crackhead. That's what you call that show. You called him a crackhead. So how can you get mad at me for calling him a crackhead? A crackhead is a crackhead is a crackhead. And they spilt water in your house and you get out. If you ain't gonna sit down, get out. Oh my God. That is must-see failure, drug-addicted TV. That's what it is. You're on substances. Your people are on substances. You're all failing. Yeah. You owning properties and all that. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. See, your outside perceived success, but on the inside, because that's the value I'm looking at. On the inside, you're a wreck. You're a wreck. And the shadow king, like any other entity, any other cosmic entity, doesn't care about material items, material success. No. We want spirits, souls. We want to collect bones. You can tell me how many properties you own and they're trash. If people are pissing, pooping, and dying and turning tricks in your properties, I don't see the value in them. That ain't dope. That ain't dope. Now, I keep getting off of what I want to talk to, but now I'm going to get to what I wanted to talk to because I almost been in here an hour. Wow, that's something for me. Now I want to jump over to the Gospel of Bob because that's where the real failure happened. That's where the real failure happened. And I'm going to name names. Particularly one name. And I'm going to start it like this. Gospel of Bob. Bobby. You need to get Dave off of your channel. You need to fire Dave. If you're hiring and firing, you need to fire Dave. Now, I got on CT's channel and I was talking about how some of the people over there at Gospel of Bob can go off, Nasus can go off. I think I said Skywalker, and I mentioned Dave. Because I've seen Dave get really in his emotions and really start talking loud and all this. And Dave went on Gospel of Bob, and this is who I'm going to replace Dave's name with. I'm going to replace Dave's name with American Black Bear. Because American Black Bear was ready for war. He set it off. He was like, we're going on CT's channel, and when John come in there, we bombing on him. American Black Bear, I give you the props that I gave Dave. Because Dave came in there and was telling Bob, Bob, I don't know if you want to do that. I don't know if you want to go on that dude. He sit over there on liquor and weed, And he can go on all day. Like y'all can't. Like you can't reciprocate that. You show weakness. And for you to call yourself General Dave the Renegade, you wasn't practicing the art of war. You showed your hand before the war even started. And then you tried to make up for it by going on John Galt's channel and being loud and abrasive, trying to get at somebody that wasn't even on there at the time. You tried to get at Be Brave. Be Brave, I think he had already left. You didn't hit John on any of the points that actually makes him a failed person. His fails are what you went on Bob's channel and showed was his strengths. You said you don't think you want, you told Bob, I don't think you want to go with somebody that sit over there and drinking, licking beer and going, you don't want to, no. You made that whole panel, that whole team, I'm going to say team, you made Bob's whole team look weak. Somebody, American Black Bear, Skywalker, if he was there, somebody should have said, Dave, shut the fuck up. It was war talk going on. Black Bear was ready. Black Bear was strapped and loaded. Let's go to war. We going to war, war, war. He was ready. Using the word that I had initiated on CT's channel. But for some reason, I don't get the credit. I'm like the guy on, what's the Harry Potter? The one who shall not be named. That is me. Another version of the Shadow King. I am the one who shall not, that's when they say the one who shall not be named on Harry Potter. I'm that person. I'm the one who kicked off war. I'm the one that said I wanted war. That was me. But I shall not be named on these channels. Under the direct direction, under the direct orders of Be Brave, John Galt can barely mention me. Because I got kicked off Gospel of Bob first because of my mannerisms in this mouth. I cannot be mentioned on Gospel of Bob. I am he who shall not be named. Now, I can sit here and build this channel simply on that. In names from the past who failed and who were emotionally damaged and who to this day have trauma. These YouTube sectors have given people trauma that they will never recover from. And why won't they recover? Because they've already, this is stuff that didn't happen to them in childhood. This is stuff that has happened to these people while they're in their 30s and their 40s and 50s. So this is trauma that they won't get over maybe until their 70s, 80s. They've destroyed themselves on digital platforms, and these digital platforms ain't going nowhere. There always is going to be a video, a clip of them putting themselves out there crashing and burning, and they can't get rid of it. People will see it in the future and be like, oh, what a loser. Let's see what you say, Palomino. Dave realized he made himself look weak. Yes, I agree, Palomino Ricky. That's a good point. Amongst the points that you never make, you've made a good point. Yeah, Dave realized he made himself look very weak. Bob, or whoever pulls the strings over there, Skywalker, y'all need to fire Dave. And Dave, this ain't personal. This ain't personal. If you see me on CT, you come over there and try to get at me. It's not going to work because I'm going to do you 10 times worse than John Galt could ever do. You don't want this conversation. I am the one who shall not be named I am the Shadow King. You've gave me enough ammunition. You gave me enough ammunition. Thank you, Palomino Ricky. He really, I mean, and I saw it. I saw the crash and burn. It was like being at a Narcotics Anonymous meeting. Somebody points out something about you and you just go off and start throwing chairs. That's what it looked like visibly. It looked like Dave was just throwing chairs and pulling his hair out and freaking losing it. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? And then you tried to give Bob a donation to make up for it. what will you fails do next? I think Dave's just a panelist and that he's not paid. Okay. But he's a regular. He's a regular. And he needs to be an occasional. Dave, the art of war is reconnaissance. You do your recon. You do your homework. You don't let your emotions just shoot you out of a cannon. And that's what you did. And for that, Dave, you are the weakest link. You are. Black Bear, I encourage you. I encourage you to keep heat seeking. Keep the missile test going. You know, like they're doing over there in North Korea, they're shooting off missiles, they're doing missile tests, they're shooting them over South Korea's head. Keep testing the missiles, Black Bear. You're in the right frame of mind. I know Nasus is always ready. Skywalker, he has some heat. He has some heat. But y'all need to. Dave has put y'all in a very bad position. It's not a strategic position. If you want to call it strategy, no. Dave jumped out, and he did it because of and see, that was a smart move. And I'll give you your prop. That was a smart move by John Galt, getting into Dave's head by putting his name in the title. John Galt. That was brilliance. That was evil science. If only your delivery, your regular delivery, not your inebriated or high delivery, only if your just regular delivery could match what you did. When you put Dave's name, and I hope you kept it there. When you put Dave's name in the title, and I had seen that Gospel of Bob show, I was like, oh, yeah. Strategically, you're on top of your game. But where your fail comes in, John, is that you're doing things and saying things to people about people not showing this, not showing that. And that's not even your real name. Not even your real first name. Not even your real first name. And that's where your fail comes in if you're going to want to try to really just get at people. Now, people call me Black Moses, but they also say my first name. I use these other names as fun. You got my channel, Ivan Uncut. Ivan Uncut. That's my channel. That's a channel I use regularly. Black Moses, this is my fun war Shadow King channel. This is I'm gonna say this is my messy troll channel. That's what this is for. This is the full-blown trash reality TV gutter style sector beef channel. That's what this for. The Ivan Uncut, that's just me on GP. You might see me out on a video out and about kicking it. That's just regular video. regular talk. If I do live streams, I won't do this over there. I like doing this right here in this is my spider's web. This is my spider's web. This is the web or the trap of a brown recluse. Yes. Dave's not too tactful or big on foresight thinking. I agree, Palomino Ricky. I'm agreeing with everything you're saying right now. John, if you're John Galt, if you're because I know John Galt ain't your real name. I saw strategy there. I like that. You need to start doing that more. And you do. I've seen you put people's names on your show, but just the delivery is the part where you fail. That's the part where you fail. You have to, a heat-seeking missile focuses on the heat of its target. It's not wavering. It's focused on the, and that's the thing. You have to be a complete heat-seeking missile. Your promo, your titles and stuff is cool, but then you have to be a heat-seeking missile and go in. You have to use those inflections in your voice, and you'd have to practice doing them without substances. You don't see me on a substance. I can change my voice delivery anytime, and I don't need a substance to do it. But that in itself goes to your brain, your nervous system issue. That Palomino Ricky, that your good servant, Palomino Ricky, just addressed not too long ago. That's a part I wasn't aware of. Thank you, Palomino Ricky. Bulba, what's up, man? What's up, Bulba? Somebody, anybody, hit the cash app. I'm going to start saying hit the cash app. It's scrolling at the bottom. $ Ivan G TV 100. $ Ivan G TV 100. See, my first name is in my cash app. But Palomino Ricky, I'm disingenuous, and my first name is in my cash app. I'm on camera. You don't just see a black screen and an avatar like Boogano CM. You don't see that. You see me chilling in my little media room with my little comfortable surroundings. You don't see a bunch of trash around me. These are clean walls. These are fluffy suede pillows. This is a nice little sectional nice little TV sectional I'm sitting on. I'm not bragging. I'm just comfortable. Yeah. Hey, y'all don't know, but I'm banging this Drake in these glasses here. These are like media glasses. These ain't the Meta glasses. I got 2 pairs of Meta glasses, but these are just some comfortable, fashionable Meta light glasses. I can at least listen to music and take a picture or two. But when I do content outside, I rock my Metas. I rock my Metas. Yeah. You guys are lucky that I was under the weather and I really couldn't just come on. I'm still under the weather. I'm still recovering from a slight flu. Man, I was coughing, choking. Man, couldn't sleep. Couldn't get no sleep. I kept having to get up and blow my nose and spitting up phlegm. And man, it was bad, dude. It was bad. I thought it was just a 24-hour deal. Shoot, by that third night, oh no, I'm going to the doctor. I called my doctor, say, hey, I need to come in. I'm having cold flu symptoms. And I had, was it flu A? Flu A or flu B? I honestly thought I had the Ovid K. I thought I had the Ovid K. But no, luckily I didn't. Luckily it was just, and I don't want to say just, because you never know how these flus can go nowadays, especially with that other thing that's out now. And I'm not going to say what that is, due to maybe TOS. And I'm not going to be saying a bunch of TOS talk. I don't care. Over here, I don't care. Over here, I don't care. Now, Ivan Uncut, I don't care over there either, but it's not stuff that's related to these panels that I go to. This is when I do some panel stuff. When I watch a panel, I only go to one panel. That's CT, Chaotic Truth Live panel. I only go there. I tried to go to Gospel of Bob. I got kicked off. I said something they didn't like. I was gone. So I just go to CT's panel. I'm sure they did it for fun, and I'm sure they would have let me back up, but it was weird. So I don't trip on that because I don't do a lot of panels anyway. When I watch panel channels, I give them maybe at tops 30 minutes. If I got time, if I'm like when I'm working, I can watch it 30 minutes, but I don't watch a lot. Maybe CT, maybe Gospel of Bob. I've been watching some John Galt. T here for the T. Child, listen, I listen to her rebroadcast, even though they can be a little gossipy girl, child girl. Even though I love them, I love it. But my main channel, where I contribute content is Chaotic Truth. I have fun. I have fun over there. And it's always good to support a brother, a fraternal brother. But let me stop that. Let's get back to the war. Because this war has to happen. It has to happen. It has to happen. But the only shots that's really been fired off is still Bob's shots from last week. John Galt, and I hear you being sneaky, John Galt, and really, I'm sure Chaotic hears you being sneaky. But you're doing it so passive aggressively to where it can't be taken seriously. And because you really won't fire off, that's why Bob called you boy. So for you got to get out from under B Brave's instructions. Even though he ain't giving you instructions, but you got to get out from under him. You got to start firing off. Now I'll say you do have one victory in this battle. One victory. You won one battle. You did put Dave out there. So you did take out a part of that team. You did take out a part of that team. You did. I salute that. I salute that. That was in itself an art. To watch Dave lose his shit. To be on Gospel of Bob, admitting his doubt and his cowardice. Admitting to that, and then trying to make up for it by actually going on your channel, John Galt, and just losing it, highly emotional, and actually shooting shots at the person that wasn't even on the channel, which was B Brave. And at the same time, Dave, it seemed like you would, even though you were screaming and being highly emotional, it seemed like you were still trying to be in John's good graces. That's what it seemed like. That's what I saw. I was like, man, that was a losing effort, man. That was a losing effort. Bob called John boring. John's like raw, syrupy, concentrated entertainment dope. No, he's not. No, he's not. Okay, syrupy. What does syrup do? I'm from Texas. We do that syrup talk. What does syrup do? It lays you back and it puts you to sleep. That's what, yeah, I agree with Bob. I agree with Bob. The only reason I watched that show where he got kicked off of CTs and I told him to go in, the only reason I watched that show for as long as I watched it was to see if he was going to go in. And he never did. He never went in. You need to help him, Palomino Ricky Z. You need to help him. You need to help John go in, especially when he gets on those substances. Especially when he gets on those substances. That's when he was on them substances and talking. That's when he should have went in on CT. That's when he should have went on CT. That's when he should have went in on J Prince. Because J Prince stood in there and stood 10 toes down and told him, yeah, I rock with Bob. Bob paid for me to get out of jail. And John Galt, you wrong for that. John Galt, you didn't help JP get out of jail. All you did was lie on Bob and said Bob wanted to see him go to jail on screen, on camera. You did that, John. And JP told you was wrong for that. And that broke your heart. But you wouldn't go in on JP. You should have gave JP a middle finger right there on camera and kicked him off your no, you couldn't kick him off because he was on CT's show. You should have gave him a middle finger and then left the stream. That's what you should have did. Instead of trying to stick around and get your talking points in until you got kicked off the stream. You should have went in on JP right then and there. But as always, your passive aggressive cowardice showed up. But yeah, I agree with Bob. Because John will repeat his point like he was trying to get on Bob. He'll keep repeating it. Yeah, he kept saying something. He said, yeah, he ain't mad at me. He mad to be brave. Then he'll say some more. Then say, he ain't mad at me. He mad to be brave. You saw that, Palomino Ricky Z. Why didn't you tell him? I'm repeating this. Why didn't you tell him, John, you're repeating yourself? Like you told me on CT. Why didn't you tell him that? I was only on CT's channel for 45 minutes, I think. He went on and said the same thing for 3 hours. Now, if you were frustrated with me repeating myself for about 45 minutes, you surely should have been frustrated with him repeating himself for over 3 hours. Yeah, Speak Radio, you're right. John don't have beef with JP or CT. That's a lie. Palomino Ricky, look at you trying to hug his nuts. Look at you, Palomino, trying to hug. He does. Did you not hear him on the show the other night saying that CT ain't a real conservative? Him in Questions to Ponder. They're quoting. They're agreeing with each other. Yeah, CT's not a conservative. Man, I told CT that he wasn't on one of his shows back in the day. I told him, I don't think you're conservative. And he dropped me. He said, I dare you speak on my conservatism. He said, I dare you speak on my conservatism, Black Moses. He dropped me from the show. Because I questioned his conservatism. So yeah, John Galt or Palomino Ricky, yeah, they tried to go at CT. You can't tell me he ain't got beef with CT. He done told CT in his face plenty of times that his channel is failing because he uses StreamYard. That's beef. That's passive-aggressive beef. And since CT kicked him off his channel by way of Bob, he's been trying to go at CT real quietly by saying, CT ain't no real conservative, because if you put a real conservative up here, no, CT, no. So if he's not conservative, does that mean he's liberal, John Galt? 8 hours of the same clips and talking points. Thank you, Speak Radio. Palomino Ricky, Speak Radio just said it. Same clips, same talk. You ain't got the nuts to tell John Galt, John, you're repeating yourself. This is babbling. You don't got the nuts to do that, Palomino Ricky Z. That makes you disingenuous. That makes you disingenuous. Ponder is a messy hoe. Speak Radio. Ponder is going to have to show and prove. Ponder is going, because she's really talking hot and saucy now, she's really going to have to jump on camera. She's really going to have to jump on camera to show that she is that bitch. She really going to have to jump on camera and do that. Because if you keep doing it from an avatar, you keep losing credibility, especially after you just went on a whole tirade on CT's show last week. Damn, I wish I wasn't sick so I could have followed up on that. John's not passive aggressive or a coward. He's a real nickel. Are you serious? Real nickels can't be passive aggressive. Real nickels live out loud. Whether they winning or losing, they live out loud. Whether you see them out on the street getting caught robbing a store, stealing from a store, or out in public fighting, real niggas ain't passive aggressive. That's not the ingredient of a real nigga. That's an ingredient of a passive aggressive nigga on StreamYard. Talking smack when he's full of beer and weed while he's in the house. Real niggas are out on street corners in front of beer stores getting drunk and high and talking that talk. What you talking about, Palomino Ricky Z? Moses, we need to do a smoke show. We can do a smoke show. Yeah, this is the channel. I need more people over here. I need more subscribers over here, man. Y'all know about Black Measy, the Shadow King. But I am the one who shall not be named. Because I bring facts with my insults. That's the difference. I listen to you people. I attentively listen. You people got a lot to say. But most of it is falsities and bullshit. That's not beef. That's being a real friend, telling your buddy the truth. Well, tell him the truth, Palomino Ricky. Tell him the truth. Tell him he's repeating himself. Tell him he's going over the same talking points. Tell him. Tell him when he come up there and say, bull mammy, and show the same clips a million times that hey, come on, let's move to something else. Show a brand new bull mammy. Huh? Not the same phone clip of your mama saying bull mammy. Not the same clip. And just sitting there giggling and laughing while you're inebriated and high. But you won't do that, will you, Palomino Ricky Z? You won't do that, will you? Huh? Be a real friend, Palomino Ricky Z, and tell him he's regurgitating and saying the same thing over and over and babbling. Tell him, Palomino Ricky Z. Will you tell him? Can you tell him? Are you that much of a friend? Or is it that you just don't have it in you? Huh? I've critiqued John a lot, actually, over the years. Yeah, right. You don't do it on them shows. I see you in those chats. I haven't seen you done it. I haven't seen it. Show and prove, Palomino Ricky Z. Show and prove. Can you do that, buddy? Because he's going to do another stream, and he's going to consistently repeat himself. Give it about a couple of hours, and then come and say, come on, John, what else we talking? Come on, you've been repeating yourself. What's the point? You won't do that, will you? Why? Because he's your Lord and Master, just like Be Brave is his Lord and Master. I want war. Sell your own ships, Palomino Ricky Z. I want war. I want the heat of confrontation. I want people losing their shit. I want people so upset on these little channels going back and forth that somebody throws up. I want to see John Galt have one of his epileptic fits right there on the show. Based off what you said, Palomino Ricky Z, he has those little issues, huh? I want to see him have one on camera going live. That's the art of war. She said on Earth's channel back before she fell out with him that she didn't go to CT's channel, but literally was there every day. Contradiction, Speak Radio. It's always contradiction. It's always. And I like Ponder for her conversation value. But the value is now going down because now you have to show and prove Queen's questions to ponder. I have nothing against you, but if you're gonna do this now, like when you came on CT's channel and you threatened to have Bob's channel deleted, you have to start showing and proving. That means you have to start showing yourself. You're not that important. Nobody knows you. Nobody knows you. Don't nobody know where you work. Nobody's gonna dox you, I don't think. Do you think they'll be not impressed with your looks? Because that's usually the case with these people that want camera. They probably have like weight issues or something like that. Even if I have weight issues, my confidence, I'll still cam up. It's no biggie. Or whatever. I don't know. John has, wait, what was that? John has about 45 minutes of, is that gas? Yeah, 45 minutes of gas. Maybe. And then he starts repeating himself, and then it goes, man, let me show you some bull mammies. You got to pick that up, man. Write something down. Write something down, John. Because, like I said, if you have those debilitating, and you're older, you're 50 plus years old. If you have those debilitating brain or nervous system issues, then write stuff down, and you can easily refer to it and take that. You're all over the place, man. You have you had a little beef in it, then you start going on these irrelevant, nondescript bull mammies. You know, you talk about how blacks don't do this, blacks don't, the blacks, the niggers. You say that, but it's the same incoherent babble and the same monotone voice. The only excitement about it is you shaking your head, going, having your little fits. Or you talking to the little substance abusers in your house. He's got a whole portfolio of bull mammies now. You may really like one. Maybe. Bull mammies can be fun. Bull mammies can be fun. Hey, I don't doubt it. I'm not above it. See, I'm not above it. But I'm sure you will. I'm sure when he puts some of those bull mammies up, you Palomino Ricky Z, you probably say, oh well, that was not so bad. Just like he was talking to the guy and he was like, man, ain't no bull mammies over there. And the guy said, they're not, he said, there's some nice looking ones that sound like a Hispanic, the guy from Colombia. He said, there's some nice looking ones. And John Gordon, his same Mr. Steven, Uncle Remus voice, said, what? You think it's some women over there? Dude, I don't want to make this show. John, I promoted you on CT's channel. I promoted your upcoming stream and you failed. You failed. Until you be honest with yourself, set yourself apart, and go in on CT and JP for what they did to you also, just as equally as you went on Bob, because I told you Bob is the easy target for you. The DEI stuff ain't gonna work anymore, because just like you call him a DEI pilot, your software design career comes from being benefiting from DEI. It don't come from you going to college and getting your license and your certifications and stuff. It comes from you benefiting from DEI, especially being from DC. It comes from you benefiting from DEI and affirmative action. So knock it off, John Galt. And I have to do that, John Galt, because it's not your real name. Knock it off, dude. Knock it off. John's killing it. I have very little critique now. Real raw dope. Yeah. Do that, Palomino Ricky. Uphold your master. Hug those nuts real tight there, Palomino Ricky. But if it's real raw dope, it has to sell. Real raw good dope sales. It does. That's the proof right there that it sells. I sold more of John Galt's dope on CT's channel than John Galt sold on his own channel. I'm the reason. The shadow came. He who shall not be named. I'm the reason he had almost 100 people in the chat that night. I'm the reason why. You can't doubt that, Palomino Ricky. He's been averaging maybe 35 at the tops. No, between 25, 35. 35 on a good day. Because of that, because of the promo and marketing I did for him on CT's channel. And he said it in the chat. Keep talking about it. Let him keep talking about it. I promote it. And I have no trouble doing that when I feel like you have some potential there. I have no problems marketing and promoting you that I did on CT's channel. I told you, and if this ain't some fire promotion, I told you to go at CT while I was on CT's channel. I told you, you need to go, John Galt, you need to do a show going in on CT's channel. CT cracked up because me and CT come from the same battle-tested ground. We know this stuff it's about humility. You can't take yourself too seriously. I gave you the best promotion and marketing right there. Got you almost 100 people on your live that night, and you dropped the ball. Now you're back down to what? Third, maybe you may be able to get 40 now, but now you're back down. If you would have took the baton, if you would have took the alley-oop I gave you, you'll be averaging 100 now, at least 100 in your chat, at least 100. All you had to do is just pick it up and run with it. You failed. That was a disappointment. Now, Black Bear, going back to Gospel of Baal, Black Bear. I'm looking for you to deliver on what you were saying. I'm looking for you whenever you see John Galt, whenever they let him back, because they kicked him off. Whenever you see him, you come into CT's channel and bomb on him. Black Bear, that's going to set you apart because Dave failed. Dave failed. Dave's the loser at this point. Bob shouldn't allow Dave back on his channel. Dave should be fired. Figuratively, fired. You're not paying him, but you're still firing. You should kick him off, just like you kick me off, Don't allow him in. Yeah. You can't tell me I'm not the Ringling Brothers of promotion and marketing that I did for John Galt. He doesn't have epilepsy. I didn't say he did. You did. I didn't say that, Palomino Ricky. I didn't say that. You did. What are you talking about? you showed your hand. You pulled a Dave when you did that, Palomino Ricky. You pulled a Dave. Now you're trying to come back in here, chats later, comments later, and say he doesn't have it. Hey, if anybody has those type of fits, they do. They have some form of it. It may not be full blown, but that is a form of it. He blamed it on the blacks. Moses, hit me on Discord. Look me up at Haas Delgado. Is that your Discord? I have to get on Discord. Maybe a couple of years back, I was on Discord because I was like on some app rooms when I was trying to learn some apps, and some of them really use Discord. Like what's that thing? Stream Elements. I used to like going into the Stream Elements Discord, and I still have a Discord account. I just don't use it. I even had Nitro. I don't know if they still do that. I had Nitro because I was really going to get into Discord, and then for some reason I just lost interest. But yeah, Haas Delgado. Look me up. I'm going to see, and I'm hearing a lot of people mention Discord and say Discord. So I'm gonna start coming back. I'm gonna re-up on my Discord and get in there and see what's really going on. So I would look you up on Discord as Haas Delgado. Okay, real talk. Appreciate that. Palomino Ricky, I'm sure you're in the Discord losing because you're losing up here. But thank you for that information, Palomino Ricky. But I know, but I'm not, I probably won't even say nothing about it. It is a talking point. It is ammunition. It is a makeup of the missile. No, how do you know that? Are you a doctor, Palomino Ricky? Are you a doctor? Are you Palomino Ricky Z, MD? Huh? Are you Palomino Ricky Z, MD? How do you know that? How can you say that, Palomino Ricky? That doesn't even add up. How can you have those episodes and not have a form of that? I didn't say he has a full blown, but there are forms of it. And if he doesn't have it, where would it come from? Where would those episodes come from? What would cause those episodes? Where would they come from? It has to be some type of debilitating issue that causes that. And usually it forms or it originates in the nervous system, in the brain, in the nervous system. Hmm? Hmm? So what are you trying to say? Palomino Ricky, you can't recover from that. You can't recover from that. You can't. You can't recover from that, Palomino Ricky. You put that on here. You came into the Shadow King's realm and you made some admissions. And you made some admissions. You did that on behalf. You were trying to speak for your Lord and Master. But all you did was make the dope. You made the dope weak. You put too much cut in the dope. You put too much cut in the dope. It's like now you're putting cornmeal in the dope. That's what you just did. This is not gonna help. This is not gonna. He has narcolepsy. So what do you say? He has narcolepsy. Is it narcolepsy? I guess we can call it narcolepsy. Hey, Palomino Ricky, thanks for that dope. Thanks for giving me that dope. Thanks. I really appreciate that dope, Palomino Ricky, you just gave me. You just gave me some good dope. That was non-cut. What is it? Raw, uncut, the bomb. That chronic. Yeah, that good. Raw, uncut, the bomb. Thanks for it. Thanks for that, Palomino Ricky. Would your master, would your Lord and Master, John Gall, appreciate you coming in here and sharing that information with me? Uncut, the bomb. No, it's cut. It's cut. It's cut a lot. Too much cut in it. Too much cut. Too much sniffling and slobbing. Yeah, yeah. Let me show you some bull man. But you enjoy. Hey, to each his own. To each his own. I'm bringing war. I'm not giving up. The Shadow King will not give. He'll always come back to the mind and try to weave it and get it like it needs to be. That's all I'm doing. You should thank me, Palomino Ricky. I got him out of 20 viewer hell. I got him out of 20 viewer hell. And now he has the potential. He has the potential because it's not about subscribers. It's not. It's not about subscribers anymore. YouTube is not about subscribers. It's about interaction now and interest. Y'all not doing your homework. So yeah, a lot of these channels are small because they're new. They're new. You know, CT's been around 5 years now. 5 years to where he's just now getting his channel to where it is. I think he's got like over 13, almost 14,000 subscribers. And that's cool, but it's not about subscribers anymore. YouTube is looking at the interaction. are people tuning in, and they're trying to keep people on the platform. So it's about people tuning in and staying on. You can have 1 million subscribers, but if you're having these live streams and you only got 10 people and all of this, see, I only have this channel only has 30. I think thanks to Moxie, I may have 30 subscribers now. So it's kind of, so my interaction is going to be like it is. There's been 1 people in here, 4 people in here, but I don't do a bunch of live. I think this is my, wait a minute. This is my first live stream on this channel. This is my first live stream on this channel. I'm just realizing that. I have videos up. I did a video that I put on private about art because he wasn't interesting. This is, thank you, Palomino Ricky. You're on my very first live stream on the Diary of Black Moses, the Shadow King. Thank you for taking part. You made history. Palomino Ricky Z, Speak Radio, Moxie, Balba, Stain, Mustang, Badass Stain. Man, y'all made history. Y'all are on my very first live stream on this channel. Man, I really appreciate it. I'm going to call y'all day ones. I'm going to call y'all day one. And if you hit the Cash App, you really made history. If you hit the Cash App, you really made history. Man, I didn't realize that. I'm sitting up here talking about war. And man, this is my first live stream. And I done hit the ground running. I came in hot. Like Drake say, I'm coming in hot. Woo, 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 woo. I'm coming in hot. Woo, woo. I came in hot. My first live stream, man, I ain't even realizing it. This is a historic day. One of many. Because I'm lighting you lanes up. I want war. This is my channel. I'll initiate it and I'll take it. And look, I don't have to dox. I don't have to dox or SWAT or none of that for anybody. All I got to do is listen and look and learn. That's all the Shadow King needs. I'm nerdy. You're still talking about Al Palomino Reed. You're still doing it. He talked about the seizures plenty. He doesn't care. It's no secret. He's got seizures from so is that nicolepsy? Would we call that nicolepsy? I'm asking you. Would we call it nicolepsy? I've never heard him say that. I've never heard that, Palomino Ricky. I just base it off of how he talks and how he's always doing his head like this. And him not being able to drive cars effectively. About him having to ride bikes. I remember he went on CT's channel and had to show all these bikes and just going on bikes just to cover up the reason he can't drive a car. And then, okay, so you're saying he doesn't have that, but could it be attributed to the excess drinking? Could it be his drinking problem? Because at this point, if he's drinking to the point where he's having those fits and he can't stop drinking, that's a whole nother problem. But people aren't looking at that. Dave didn't look at that. That's one thing Dave could have looked at and said, hey, man, dude, what are you talking about? And he can't say DEI pilot when he's a DEI software designer, when he's a direct recipient of affirmative action program packages that were rolled out during Gen X. I'm Gen X. He's Gen X. We fully benefited from affirmative action and all those rollouts. We were the first generation that received that. You start having all these companies, banks, and mortgage companies started having job fairs because they were needing minority representation due to affirmative action and DEI programs. We were the first generation that benefited from that. There was education packages. There was business programs where you could get land for pennies on the dollar, which all of that goes to rollouts for Gen X that came out during Gen X. If I benefited from it, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of it. So if he's trying to put himself on a pedestal to where he didn't benefit from that, and now he's trying to talk down. Oh wow! But thank you for sharing that information. Yeah, John's full of passion. He moves his head to emphasize a point. You sure are explaining a lot of. You sure are able to explain. What I mean, are you the guy that's sitting on his couch? He's emphatic and passionate. No, he's not. He's a drunk and a weed head. He's a drunk and a weed head. He really starts doing that head when he's either on them substances or he's on that drink. When he's on that good syrupy drink, right? Because when he's not on it, when he's just regular, he's just looking at the camera like this. He's just looking like this. He don't start moving that head to that drink hit him and that substance hit him. Then he's like, ugh. And he's from DC, which is legal and it's legalized. So he's probably on that good medical stuff, the medicinal stuff, to help him with his issues that you just pointed out here. He probably has a card because he needs it for those issues, which you just pointed out here. See what I'm doing, Palomino Ricky Z? This is the art of war. This is the art of war. And this stream ain't going nowhere. Even if you I'm still coughing from my under the weather. Even if you strike this stream, it's still on my StreamYard. It's still recorded on my StreamYard. See, I'm using StreamYards. What you mean he may have benefited from DEI? Thank you, Palomino Ricky Z. Yes, he did. Just like to a certain degree, I may have. Yeah. Yeah. So you can't point the finger at that guy without pointing two back at yourself. He's a DEI pilot. Well, I benefited from DEI and affirmative action. Yeah. But I think Bob is 50. He's Gen X. John Gardner's in his 50s. He's Gen X. I'm Gen X. I'm in my 50s. I'm Gen X. We were the first generation to catch the rollout of affirmative action, aka DEI programs. That's all. They just put a different name on it now. The conservative MAGA party, they just put a different tag on it. Instead of saying affirmative action, because affirmative action was rolled out for blacks mainly, they say DEI. I'm not happy. Couch guy is happy. Well, hello, Happy. How you doing, Happy? You sound pretty happy in here today. Hey, when John Gard told you to get him that beer, when John Gard told you to give me a, when he told you that, man, that couldn't have made you too happy. How did that make you feel? The art of war. It is an art. It is an art. Yeah. I didn't wait. I didn't even know the guy's name is Happy, but you do for some reason. You do for some reason. Another person I have to start watching is Stanley Cross. He's really I don't care how intelligent he tries to come off as, he's really a degenerate fuck. He really is. And he don't want to deal with me. Like I said, I am the one who shall not be named. I am the Shadow King. I have no reason to go into these people's failed live stream panels. No reason. That's I think I've really came bammed on him on T's channel. I think I bammed on him. Well, after I bammed on him on T's channel, he's very careful about how he approaches me, because I am the one who shall not be named. I listen to you. I learn from listening to you. That's a gift. That's something that my creator bestowed upon me. When he told you to get him that beer, you laughed hysterically. Yeah, I heard you. I heard you when you was on the channel. You went, ha, 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 ha. I heard you when you was on it. When he told you to get it, you looked at him. You was like, what? And then you said, ha, 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 ha. I heard you, Ricky Palomino. I heard you when you did it. I saw you laugh hysterically on there. I saw you. Yeah. That was you. You laughed hysterically. You belted out. Ha, 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 ha. Man, what? Yeah. Palomino Ricky Z, aka Happy. I saw you. I saw that episode. I saw it when it happened live. And here's another thing. This is just another part of the art of war. When you lie, when you have to lie about something you did, when you have to lie about it to try to cover your tracks, that's also a fallacy. When John Galt got kicked off of CT's show, and I know you're going to agree with me, when John Galt got kicked off of CT's show, when Bob kicked John Galt off of CT's show, John Galt, it was maybe 10 to 15 minutes. He had been off 10 to 15 minutes. John Galt took that whole hour because I'm sure he was, I don't know how he does that, but I'm sure he was recording it or whatever on his show. He took that segment and put it on his show. Because I'm like, man, they done kicked on John Galt, and John Galt was gone at least 10, 15 minutes. So I'm automatically thinking John Galt is about to do a live about this. I'm like, he's about to do a live. So I instantly, while I'm watching CT's show, while I'm watching CT's show on my laptop, or was I watching it on TV? No, I was watching it on my TV. While I was watching CT's show on my TV, I got my phone, went to John Galt's channel, and he had that segment up. And when I went on the CT's channel, and this was another art of war, when I went on the CT's channel and CT was asking me, should he charge for just that segment? I told him you should charge $25 a pop. And I said, but wait a minute. I said, John Galt has already put that segment up on his channel. And I told CT to go over there and strike it. I told CT to go. Yes, I did. You saw me, Palomino Ricky. You saw me, Palomino Ricky Z. You saw me. I told CT to go and strike it. I wouldn't have said that if it wasn't true. 10 to 15 minutes had passed after they had kicked John Galt off, and they kicked his ass off. I'm going to emphasize that. They kicked his bum ass off. 10 to 15 minutes after, I said, John Galt finna go live on this. I went over there. He didn't go live, but he had put that segment on his channel. And when I told CT to strike it, go over there and strike it because it was already up, John Galt came into the chat and said he hadn't put that up, knowing he did. Knowing he had put that segment up. Dude, I went on your channel. I'm looking at it. I'm watching that segment while I'm watching CT's show on the TV. I'm watching the segment on your channel on my phone. You came in CT's chat when they kicked you off. When I told CT to strike that off of your channel so he can charge for it, you came in the chat and told CT, you told the chat that you didn't put that up on your channel. Dude, when you have to lie. Now, Palomino Ricky, that's what being disingenuous is. That's what being disingenuous is. I don't have to talk about nothing else but this, because this is what this channel is for. The bullshit. When John Galt, and I'm telling you, Palomino Ricky Z, since you're his agent, since you're one of his slaves, one of his workers, one of his peons, I'm telling you, Since he had to do that, isn't that disingenuous, Palomino Ricky, aka Happy? Ain't that disingenuous? You saw that he had put that up on his channel and then came into CT's show and said he didn't put it up. When you have to lie to cover your tracks just like that, isn't that not disingenuous, Palomino Ricky Z? CT went over to John's and hung out on John's panel after Bob dropped John, I think. They ain't beefing. No. CT went over there to be diplomatic, as he was trying to be when John was talking all that trash about Bob. CT was being diplomatic, even though he was facilitating the war at the same time. He was still trying to be diplomatic. He was still trying to be Switzerland and walk down the middle. That's all he was trying to do. I saw him in John's chat that night, and he was talking about CT was talking about me. Selling that me telling John to go in on me was diabolical. I saw that. He said that was diabolical, and that's when John started talking about, yeah, a 50-something-year-old man in there talking about war. John, you're in your 50s and doing it. Bob is in his 50s. We're all in our 40s and 50s. What are you talking about? See, these are the stammering, blabbering points that you try to make when there's no points. But you're a 50-year-old man who couldn't admit that you put that segment up on your channel when I told CT to strike it. Palomino Ricky, that's a definition of disingenuous. Right, CT likes John and Bob. He's beefy, especially if he's Switzerland. Yeah, but sometimes you have to draw a line in the sand. You have to draw a line in the sand. And you see what happened because he's trying to be Switzerland? He's trying to be diplomatic. Look what's happening. Bob ain't saying nothing negative about CT on his channel, but John is. John's been doing it. He's been doing it. If you tell a person that his channel ain't succeeding because he's using StreamYard and StreamYard panels, you're shitting right there in his face, which is what John has done. John did a whole segment about why he's leaving StreamYard and going straight to OBS. OBS ain't nothing new. When I first started doing stuff on here, I used OBS. Talking about plugins ain't new. Nothing is new that John is talking about OBS. It's been around for years. He makes it seem like it's just the freshest brand new thing. Yeah, it's been around. It was around before StreamYard. But you tell somebody, you pretty much telling somebody they're failing because they're using StreamYard when you're using StreamYard, and you do 2 shows about how you're not going to be using StreamYard and you're still using StreamYard. More disingenuousness. More disingenuousness. Who are you following, Palomino Ricky? Who are you pledging your allegiance to, Palomino Ricky? You're pledging your allegiance to a ship's captain that's going to be the first person to bail off the ship when trouble comes. How can you? That's 2 examples. I just gave you 2 examples of disingenuous. He's disingenuous all over the place. He's not. You sound like a what do they call, like a I don't know, like a cult follower. You sound like a cult follower. Even though the cult leader is doing all of these things, some of the people are just so enamored with the cult leader that they don't believe it. You're keeping sweet. Look up what that term means, Palomino Ricky Z. Keep sweet. There's a documentary on it called Keep Sweet. It's about a cult leader. You need to look at that, Palomino Ricky Z, aka Happy. You need to watch that. Yes, I'm naming names and talking about people. I'm not talking out of my ass or in the air. I'm naming names. John's never said anything negative. John said constructive things to CT. That's positive, and we all be lucky to have buddies like John who say, "Yeah, you're a delusional cult member." He's a real nigga with narcolepsy. Hey, I'm not trying to tell you to unfollow, unsubscribe. I'm just telling you to look, listen, learn, and be proactive with it. If you're doing it all for fun, I'm doing it all for fun. I don't have not one ill will or bad feeling about anybody on here because I don't know you personally. I don't. I'm not trying to get in your personal business and dox you and swat you. I don't need to do that. I'm doing what I need to do right now. I'm bringing out what your fault. I'm naming the names and bringing out the faults. It's the art of war, Palomino Ricky Z. It's the art of war, brought to you by Black Moses, the Shadow King, aka the Shadow King, and one of my old ones that I'm gonna bring back, aka your grandmama's best kept secret. Those who are looking and lurking, take this, learn from this. This is how you steal souls. This is how you collect bones. Stamped by the Shadow King. I'm bringing you entertainment and information, facts and fun, all in the name of good, healthy war. Art of War. Okay, glad you know the title of a book. No, before it was a book, it had to be an actual art. Happy, huh? Before it was a book, it had to be an actual art. Palomino Ricky Z, MD, aka Happy. But he doesn't have epilepsy. He has narcolepsy. We'll leave it right there. I'm going to hold on to that. My nickel. I'm going to hold on to that narcolepsy. I'm going to hold on to that. Thanks to you, the information is always gladly and thankfully received. Oh. Oh. Hey, you've given me a new phrase, and it only applies to one person. Narcolepsy. Man, he got narcolepsy. Yeah, he got narcolepsy. And if somebody asks me, why do you say that? I'm going to say, well, I was talking to this guy, Palomino Ricky Z, and he was telling me about it. He was telling me, he was saying he does this, but he doesn't have it. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But he says the only reason that happens to him is because he's sick of niggas. These were the words of Palomino Ricky Z, aka Happy MD. We're gonna attribute it all to narcolepsy. Yo, Bob, I hope somebody from your crew, your team came in here. You need to get rid of Dave. You can't go into war like that. You need to promote Black Bear to a higher position. Let Nason stay where she is. She's always ready for it. She ain't backing down. I think Skywalker's got your back. You been got rid of Art. He was a weak link. You knew he was a weak link a long time ago. But you have another one in your camp. You have another double agent. Dave is a double agent in your camp. I guarantee you, when you kick Dave off of your channel, he's going to start being a regular over there at John Golf's channel. Watch. Ponder your sweetest pecan pie on Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. But you got to start showing improvement. Once you join the heat of battle, I mean, because CT is ground zero for it all, pretty much, amongst y'all. Once you went on CTs and made your proclamations and said that you were going to have a channel deleted, you entered the fray. You entered the war. So now you got to show up. You got to show and prove. Voice alone is not going to do it anymore. You got to show up. You can heed my words. You can heed my words. Or you can fall into oblivion. Either way, you have to show and prove. I love it. I love it. It's what? It's noontime. Well, no, it's almost 2:00. This is lunch for me. This is lunch. Thanks for the snacks, Palomino Ricky Z. Thanks for those little bits and bites of information you just gave me. I'll put them in a locker. I'll bring them out later. Thank you for entering the realm of the Shadow King. I'll see y'all next time. Thank you for coming into the diary of Black Moses.